I'm Max Garcia, I'm 18 years old, and in a couple days, college classes start for me. But that also means that all the incoming freshmen to high schoolers are going to have their first high school classes of their life. And advice is something that you get in every stage of your life. And even though I'm just an 18 introvert who's going to college, I've learned some lessons that I would have told myself as a freshman. And lesson number one is you have to hang around the right people. I've seen someone who had a right path and just enter high school and just play video games every single day and just do drugs way too often. And for me, I don't want to brag, I don't want to be this ambitious, confident guy on camera, and then behind the scenes I'm not. But I hung out with the right group of people, the right friends who led me to this right trajectory in life. I'm going to college, I'm going to Florida State, and if I hung out around people who just like getting C's and not doing their homework and didn't really do any extracurriculars and didn't really have any enthusiasm in their life and just kind of kicked every grade to the next semester, then I wouldn't have been like the top 10% of my class or graduated 26th out of like 260 students. Literally in my anti-racism friend group, the valedictorian is a part of that friend group. I'm not that close to them personally because, friend groups that have like 10 people, you're not going to be that close to every single person. But still, everyone in that friend group pretty much finished like top 20%. And that's for a reason. Numero dos is that teachers and subjects are two separate things. Just because you really love a subject and then all of a sudden this teacher gatekeeps you from the knowledge of the subject, or just a teacher that doesn't really even try, because not every teacher is a good quality teacher that is just a erudite and so passionate about their information. I had an AP macro class last year with one of the worst teachers I had in all of high school, and even though it was virtual, I still put some like effort in like the first quarter of the year, and then as time went on I just saw that she didn't care, and I thought I would enjoy the AP macro information. It's all about economy, and I love like Bitcoin and US currency and the future of that and like jobs. It's all interesting to me, but there's just no like spark inside the class. So my interest faltered, and the whole cheating thing during COVID was very common, and that kind of fell into my routine. But you can have so much passion for a subject and just have the wrong teacher. And like, I have another example. In the 7th grade, I did band, and I think I should have kept doing band, because having like that artistic class is a nice like stress reliever. But just this teacher I just didn't get along with, and who was like way too strict and just made the whole thing not fun. And you have to have fun in art, and I just didn't have band in 8th grade, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th because that teacher. Number 3, and this one is probably in every single lessons from high school video on YouTube, but do sports. And this part isn't in every single one. If you aren't athletic or your school doesn't have that many programs, do cross country if your school has it. And what is cross country? Well, cross country is just the longer form of running. So there's track where you're doing like 400 meters in like a quick 1 minute-ish race, or there's cross country where you're doing 5Ks, and that takes around 20 to 30 minutes or even faster depending on the athlete that you are. But literally anyone can run, just running. Swimming, I've heard at my school it's a little bit more difficult. I didn't do swimming. I did cross country. My first year time was 25 minutes for a 5K, and then junior year I got that down to 21. Senior year I got that down to 18:33, and that's my 5K PR. And literally just today I ran. So if you actually do end up doing well in cross country and end up liking the sport, making friends with the coaches, your teammates, your peers, you can actually have a really good habit long term that's going to make you live longer and have less stress in your life. So definitely do sports because you can go on awesome field trips. Who doesn't love that? And you can actually build relationships with people. I actually brought my friends into cross country. I literally got most of my friend group to do cross country, which is a bizarre thing. But remember, running isn't boring. There's just boring runners. Number 4, join clubs, but you don't have to be so academic about it. You could just do it for the field trips. I've seen people just join a random Spanish honor society club or a key club or environmental club. Join that club. Support the environment, you know. Tesla. So people join clubs just for the resume, or you could do it for the field trips. And I joined FBLA for the field trips, and sadly because of COVID I never actually ended up going to Orlando twice. I should have, you know, without COVID. Oh, I missed so many things. But all of you who are watching this video don't really have to deal that much with COVID. Restrictions are lighter. But with FBLA, I had this sports management topic with 2 of my close friends, and we had to go in front of a judge and make our own presentation for 7 minutes. That takes different skills, and to get over your anxiety of talking to someone for minutes and minutes, that's just bold. And there's probably many clubs in every single school, and many of them will go on field trips, and that way you could also meet friends and it doesn't hurt on your resume. Number 5, build good habits, whether that be sleeping. I'm probably too constrictive with my sleeping schedule, at least in high school. I'm a little bit more loose now that it's the summer. I have no responsibilities. But during school, I'll be like, I gotta go sleep at 9 p.m. so I can wake up at 5 a.m. and get those 8 to 9 hours of sleep, because I had practice at 6 a.m. and then I had to go to school. So a very rigorous schedule, and sleep is where you recover. Also build good habits for studying, drinking water. Number 6, find a way to enjoy learning where you're actually gonna yearn for more knowledge. This is so helpful because it's gonna make getting A's so easier. So you're taking all those AP classes and you're just going to appreciate the knowledge that you're learning in class. And what I mean by fun is that you can watch crash course videos on YouTube. This is kind of saying learn the best way for you to study, but you can take notes and just put in random GIFs. That makes it a little bit more fun. You could also make rap videos or TikToks on what you're learning. I made 2 rap videos, almost made a 3rd for calculus, but I never made the deadline for that one. Just make learning fun because it's gonna make the school day that much better. Number 7, dual enrollment isn't everyone in the world should do it, because if you want to get a job when you're 16 or 17 and you're doing dual enrollment, that's super arduous. And also if you're going out of state and dual enrollment isn't going to accept any credits, why would you do dual enrollment? So there's many reasons why you wouldn't do dual enrollment. I actually never took a single college class outside of AP classes that don't really count as college classes, just because of the end of your test. But I would have considered, I probably would have told myself, just take ENC 101 and Mac 1105, because those 2 classes were offered at my school just after the school hours. So my school ended at 2:30. ENC 101 started on my Matter Lakes campus at 3 o'clock. And now this semester for FSU, I'm going to be taking ENC 101. So if I took that class with the teacher I actually knew and was familiar with, I wouldn't have to be taking this class my freshman year of college. It's not the biggest deal. It's not, oh my gosh, such a waste of time doing enrollment. Oh, it's a huge time saver. Depends on your situation. If you're not sure about your economic status during college and how you're going to pay for college, if you want to go to a different city, then having your associate's degree will help you make college cheaper. But it's not for everyone. Number 8 is that the going to college process takes a bit longer than you probably initially expected. It isn't as simple as just apply and then just see whether you got in. There's more steps in that whole process, and I'll get to that right now because I should have taken my SAT my junior year, and I took it my senior year, took it twice actually in my senior year, went from 1170 to a 1330, all because of this math book right here. Super helpful, College Panda. If you want to improve in math skills, I recommend it. But if I took it junior year, I wouldn't have to be anxiously waiting like, oh, this is the only SAT score I have to put on my application. It's do or die. Come on. SAT score, you and I, is do or die. I have to put you in. And luckily it was a pretty good score, but it was kind of stressful. And if I just took it junior year, I wouldn't have to worry about my Common App or getting recommendations or the college essay or, you know, the application fees, because they're like $30 if you can't waive them. So the college applying process isn't that hard. You just take the SAT or ACT in junior year, you know, study for that because those are tests you can actually study for. They're content-based knowledge. It's not like an IQ test. And then apply for colleges like July and August, right before the start of your senior year. And then once you start the senior year, you don't have to worry about it as much. You're like, oh, I already submitted my application. I'm just waiting until like January or February or March, like the next year. Number 10 is all about self-care, and you gotta YOLO and go with the flow like Obi-Wan Kenobi, yo. So don't get stressed in high school. Your responsibilities are not gonna be that much. You're not paying the bills, the electricity bill, the water bill, your car insurance at the beginning of your high school life. Maybe later, if your family situation is like that, you might start picking up different car bills. If you want a car, you don't really need a car all the time. You know, biking is an option, carpooling is an option, taking the bus, even though I hate that option, is an option. But number 10 is all about enjoying your time in high school, because the friends that you might have carried from middle school to high school, they're not always going to be at the same educational place, because my friend group has gone to different places in the United States. One's going to California, one's going to Massachusetts. We're all spread out in the huge state of Florida, and we're never gonna be able to like talk to each other the same as that lunch table in high school with everyone just ganging up into each other and get squeezed in together. I don't know if it's ever gonna be like that because of COVID, but those were the times where you would have a class with your friends. It would be first period at the end of the day, and we would just call it the lounge because the class wasn't that hard and you could just have fun with each other. And you just have to enjoy your experiences, which means sometimes breaking those good habits I said earlier. Like if you want to watch a random football game with a friend over at night, even though you have school the next day, you could do it for one night. Just don't do that same bad habit over the long term. You could go to parties. You could even mess up or slip up in your athletic sporting event. You don't do the right training sometimes, or you just take a break from it because you're too stressed out. Do whatever you can to enjoy the experience while still being semi-responsible, because you still got to be on task a little bit in high school, but not too much, because not everything is on the line. If you get an F in high school, you can always bounce back from this.